Studio. Good morning, Lagos. Good morning, Nigeria. Welcome to the conversation here on Lagos Television. I am Abimbola Bello. Ladies.
Good morning and welcome. I am Joy Olu.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Abimbola.
Stop making it feel like I'm far away.
You're not only far away.
There's an Iranian blockade.
Yes.
There's one young girl that I feel like flinging out of the studio right now.
Sorry.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Adebipe Omotayo.
Don't worry. Anytime you need to call my attention, just call me.
Okay.
And I will come to you. By way of the screen.
We Yorubas say, Ojuloro wa.
I know, right? Don't mind this pillar. There's one giant pillar that seems to be, an obstacle between Adebipe and I this morning. But never mind. Our voices will tell the story. Okay. Of course, Adebipe wasn't here yesterday. I also wasn't here yesterday. But Joy and Ajibola had, a good time on the show. So here we are. Friday morning with the ladies. You know how we do it. We try as much as possible to help you start your weekend on a beautiful note, and we intend to do that on the conversation this morning. So let's take our news points for today. I will start from this side, and it is about Mr. President meeting APC governors over rank of free primaries. And the story says ahead of the All Progressives Congress APC primaries, President Bola Tinubu on Thursday evening met behind closed doors with APC governors on how to ensure a peaceful and transparent party primaries. The meeting held at the Presidential Villa Abuja was attended by key members of the Progressive Governors Forum, including its chairman and Imo State Governor Senator Hope Uzodinma, and the chairman of Nigeria's Governors Forum, NGF, who is also the governor of Kwara State, Abdurrahman Abdurazak. Others were Governors Inuwa Yaya, Umar Bago of Niger, Babagana Zulum of Borno, Aisent Alia of Benue, Biodun Oyebanji of Ekiti, and Dr. Mba of Enugu State, among others. Speaking with journalists after the session, the NGF chairman, Governor Abdurazak, said deliberations focused on ensuring a smooth primary election process following the release of party's timetable. He said, and I quote, "We met with Mr. President. The timetable for the primaries has been released. We've discussed the process moving forward so that there'll be free and fair elections, no rancor. And at the end of the process, the party should be one, stronger than ever, heading towards the election." Also speaking, Niger State Governor Umar Bago said the governors used the opportunity to appreciate the president for his continued support and leadership within the party. That's the thrust of the story, really. And we all know that party activities have commenced, especially party primaries in days to come should be in full gear. And, while the APC said in some states they will adopt, what is it called, consensus candidates, they said in other states it will be direct primaries. So whatever it is, now that Mr. President has also met with the governors, because it is assumed that the governors should take control of their respective states and oversee what will happen in their state. So we do hope that, and I know that APC Kwara is not having it rosy at the moment.
Okay.
There are a lot of factions, there are a lot of, things going on. So hopefully Governor Abdurazak will be able to close the ranks, bring all of them together now that they've met with the president, and the party primaries across all states will be truly rancor free. Yes. Interesting days really ahead.
Oh, yes. Still talking about interesting days being ahead. In one particular state, I was around there yesterday, and that's Joyce State, Ogun State. I think campaign is fully, has fully started. It's in full gear.
Because that one is done and done.
You can see banner. No, what am I saying? Banners,
posters already adorning.
This outdoor, what are they called?
Yeah, banners, yeah.
Yes,
Billboards.
Billboards, yes, that's the name. Billboards with an S, of the candidate of the APC, gubernatorial candidate in Ogun State. And I'm like, should they have started this? Should it have started now?
They will tell you they are not the ones that it is.
Shouldn't INEC
those
be
supporting them.
sanctioning if it is not time yet? Because I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it should actually, and I think it is the ruling party that should lead by example, really.
Exactly.
If you're saying things shouldn't be done, then you shouldn't be seen doing it. So even if they come under the guise of, the candidates now coming under the guise of we didn't authorize it, you can actually authorize them, pulling them down. So again, you also do not get penalized by the electoral body. I think INEC also needs to step up because this is where sometimes people will begin to think that INEC is truly partisan. So if you also, irrespective of whose ox is gored, if it is not time to openly campaign, then you shouldn't do it. You're violating a section of the Electoral Act. So you should actually pay for it if you're doing it. So it doesn't matter if you sanctioned it or not. You can actually say, okay, so you didn't ask them to put it down, but you can ask them to bring it down. So because at the end of the day, it will seem like you authorized it because it is about you. So we do hope that the umpire will also do the right thing and stop feigning like you're not saying some of these things. He who must come to equity must come with clean hands.
Well said, Abimbola. Now, to my story, wiretapping, El-Rufai pleads not guilty, faces fresh charges. The federal government on Thursday expanded the criminal case against former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai, introducing fresh allegations bordering on interference with critical national infrastructure and unauthorized access to classified information. The new counts are contained in a further amended 5-count charge filed on April 13, 2026 before the Federal High Court in Abuja, replacing an earlier 3-count charge instituted on February 16, 2026. At his arraignment before Justice Joyce Abdul Malik, El-Rufai, however, pleaded not guilty to all counts after the court granted the prosecution's request to substitute the initial charge. The Department of State Services, through its counsel, Oluwole Aladedoye San, told the court that the amended charge significantly revised the allegations against the former governor, urging the court to adopt the new processes. Unlike the earlier charge, which focused mainly on alleged unlawful interception of communications, the fresh counts introduce a broader national security dimension. In count 1 of the amended charge, the prosecution accused El-Rufai of intentionally and unlawfully interfering with the communication of a national security advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, describing the communication channel as part of Nigeria's critical national information infrastructure. The charge states that the alleged act contravenes provisions of the Designation and Protection of Critical National Information Infrastructure Order 2024 and is punishable under the Cybercrimes Prohibition Prevention Amendment Act 2024. In a separate and newly introduced count, the prosecution alleged that El-Rufai, and I quote, without authorization, intentionally secured access to classified information. This count marks a shift from the earlier framing of the case, which was limited to claims of intercepted communications, to a more serious allegation involving breach of classified state information. It is such a long read. And all I have to say is, may God help him. Because these are serious charges. It's about breaching security of a nation.
And it just feels like anyhow he tries to say that I'm not guilty of this particular one, there's another charge waiting just around the corner. I really don't know how it will get out of this particular situation, especially since there's also a verbal
proof.
Yeah. said by him,
Yeah.
not under any form of duress. So it's going to be, a long road to either justice or injustice. However, some would like to take a look at it, but it doesn't feel like this man is getting off this hook, and But then let's see how this goes at the end of the day. Joy, let's take your story.
Lagos improving infrastructure, welfare with enhanced IGR, and this is coming from the governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu. He has lauded the tax reform, saying it represents a shift and structural overall Nigeria needs in its fiscal space. He spoke at the opening of the 159th meeting of the Joint Revenue Board, JRB, in Lagos. He said replacement of the old JTB with JRB and expansion of the board's mandate to include harmonization of revenue administration in all tiers of government, resolution of disputes on revenue administration at intergovernmental level, and creation of Office of the Tax Ombudsman to promote taxpayers' rights are laudable structural shift. Also, and I quote, "There are no small achievements, and I laud the leadership of President Bola Tinubu and National Assembly for the tax reforms. I also laud JRB for its energy and conviction in bringing these reforms to life." End of quote. Governor Sanwo-Olu, who declared the meeting open, said Lagos State is a partner in the reform journey and will support collaborations in the revenue ecosystem designed to serve the people. He also noted that the state's internally generated revenue has improved in his administration, adding IGR funds about 60% of the state's capital expenditure. He attributed the growth in IGR to the autonomy of LIRS, investment in technology infrastructure, expansion of the tax net, and building trust in taxpayers through compact service delivery to the public. That's basically the story. Governor Sanwo-Olu has said that Lagos is improving in infrastructure, welfare, and this is coming from the enhanced internally generated revenue of the state.
We'll continue to say that, Lagos will continue to lead while others will follow. All of this definitely will come down to taxes and IGR. We know how much Lagos is doing to shore up her IGR in all spheres of the economy. So the only way that, everyone, not us, because we deduct from source, taxes are paid, but everyone needs to support this administration by ensuring that, their taxes are paid and are paid appropriately. It is only through that we will continue to witness rapid development and improvement of infrastructure across Lagos. Adebimpe, you wanted to say something?
No,
Oh.
you've said it all.
Okay, so that's it. Let's go to the X platform this morning to take a look at one of the many trending stories there. Well, this news broke yesterday. Mr. President seeking the Senate approval for a 156 million naira loan to construct or to undertake the superhighway Sokoto construction. And of course, this particular loan will be sourced from the Dutch bank, and it will be to fund the first 100 kilometers of the 1,068 kilometers Sokoto Badagry superhighway, cutting travel time across 7 states from Sokoto to Lagos. At least, if not for anything, for those who've been going on the coastal road, you will know that, of course, it's a blessing. And if this other part, I mean, thinking about it alone, from Sokoto to Badagry, and it's going. This one is even going to be faster than the coastal road because this is going to be a super highway, and it means that from one end of Nigeria to another end, especially for those who travel out of Nigeria through the road. For if that road gets to Badagry, it means that it's going to be easier to connect Benin Republic faster, and that means that you really do not need to come and pass Mile 2 Oshodi. That's access to get to Badagry. It's a good one. Of course, a lot of people are still asking another loan. how are we going to pay up all those loans?
That's a big question, you know.
But again, I guess
I think one of our guests have come here to say
they will always take loans.
that, look, government will always take loans. That if
as long as
don't
you're
take loans,
using the
Yes,
money for
so
what
for-
is
so
intended.
infrastructure, if you're using it to, depending on what you're taking the loan for. So if the loan really is for infrastructural development, it's a good one for you, especially for your economy. And, you know, for such roads, at some point in time, it could be tolled. And then it could start raking in revenue. But be rest assured that when that road is tolled, another set of backlash.
another backlash will follow it.
It's money that we use to find money. Eh?
Exactly. But we also need to understand that some of these countries or some of these democracies that we copy, they toll some of their roads.
Yeah.
They some of their roads they pay on some of their bridges. So why must it be that everything here looks different, or it feels like, oh, government is just wants to tax us to death? But I think again it is a gradual thing. I don't expect the coastal road to be tolled now.
No,
When it has not even been completed,
yeah.
when it has not, you know, gotten halfway, at least it will be completed. You know that okay, this road is there, durable, and then you can give a projection. Okay, we will toll this road maybe for the next 30 or the next 50 years. Remember that the toll gate at well, we still call it toll gate. It was removed at 7-Up. It was removed after some time, and if you look at the number of years that, you know, the toll was received there, you know that it might have made up for the construction of that road. So sometimes government will need to do what they need to do, but you have to prove beyond reasonable doubt to your populace that you mean well for them. And, you know, the construction of the road is not another money or another job for the boys. It is something that at the end of the day will bring a lot of relief and will bring a lot of succor to the road users.
You know why Nigerians will continue to react, you know, when they hear these loans. Of course, they know that, you know, as a nation, we need to borrow. But they're always worried about what both of you also highlighted, that, look, are they using all these monies for what is being asked for?
Yeah.
And, you know, 516
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot. But the project, when you think about it,
Yeah.
from Badagry all
Just
the way
from
to the
Sokoto,
north,
yeah. It's a big one.
upper north, almost the boundary,
Big
you know,
project.
it's a big project. We'll continue to, you
But
know,
maybe it's also
encourage.
one project that may outlive this administration.
Yes.
They may not be able to complete it.
it,
Because
yeah.
if you also look at the time frame,
The time frame, yeah.
so it's not so, it might be something that, you know, this administration might also not be able to complete. Okay, we have a little bit of time, you know, to spend more before we
Can
go.
we talk about my brother?
Please, who is your brother? Adelabu. Abi who?
We talked about him yesterday.
Oh God, I was going to ask. Did you talk about him yesterday?
Yes, we did.
Did you see the 1 million loyal supporters that went welcome him at the airport? I was like, instead of this man, make
Stand like this, stand like this.
May he cover his
Stand
face.
like this, let me see.
Cover his face with shame. Eh?
Well, you know, me, I don't know.
He was get out of his car.
He can now go and you know, face his governorship ambition in Oyo State. While going through a couple of messages on the X platform yesterday, the National Grid said farewell, and that one alone broke my heart. Like, oh my God!
Another person said National Grid has left the group.
National Grid said farewell.
NBC.
Like, go well.
NBC we are only saying what.
No, we're only echoing what Joe said. But before we go, I don't know if you also saw this young man who graduated from Lautech, who also gave kudos to Nelfond, and they have come for him like no man's business. And the guy said,
Don't speak his truth.
why are you making it feel like I don't know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I accessed this loan. It helped me. And the guy gave an history of how he grew up. He grew up in Osun State. He said all his life he's attended public school, is not being privileged to attend, you know, any private institution. He went to Lautech, and at some point in time, it was his father's friend that gave him the first smartphone that he's using. That till date, he's using it. But he was able to get the Nelfund loan, and now he's a graduate. And he said Nelfund contributed to him graduating as a first class.
As the best graduating.
Sorry, best
graduating student.
Oton. Yeah. And then all sorts of, hey, how do you intend, do you know it's a loan? How do you intend to pay it back?
When he gets a job. And as the best graduating student, I'm sure jobs are waiting for him.
Must we always be pessimistic about everything? Can't somebody say, like Adebimpe said, can't you own your own truth? So if something is added to you, can't you openly say thank you to a system that has worked for you? It might not work for everybody. Remember when Nelfund started, they were begging people in Lagos to access the loan. So why do we like making this cyberbullying thing? Anyway.
You know, we've said it here before that some people are just hell-bent in not seeing anything good about this administration. Yeah. So most of the noise you hear on online, especially on the X platform, is usually from those people. I will not mention their names. They do not want anything good. They don't want to see anything good. They don't want to record anything good about this administration.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Anyway, that's it. You can go onto the X platform this morning to take a further read on the many stories trending there. We'll take a quick break. We'll return. Part 1 of our conversation will be here this morning. And today we're still staying with Nollywood. Of course, we do know that Nollywood is one of the shining examples of Nigeria's entertainment industry, and it is raking in a lot of money for the country. But then, how do we marry the Nollywood industry and Nigeria's cultural identity? This conversation is after this break.